So welcome to session 3, that is 8051 module 1 8051 microcontroller. So in previous two sessions we have seen what do you mean by microcontroller. So it is basically an IC, so which will do the function as per the what we write the program using the either assembly or C, and once we download to that IC it will perform that function. And usually the microcontrollers, it will be used in the embedded systems. So now after that, in second session, we have seen the architecture of 8051. So architecture consists of what is the CPU architecture, what is CPU inside, so what it consists of, and the RAM, ROM, and what are the peripherals it has attached to with that. So all that in block diagramic in pictorial way. So we have seen the architecture of microcontroller. So now in this session, so in the downward it is by mistake it is session 2, it needs to be session 3. So today we will see the internal memory organization. So what is the RAM structure, how it looks like. Okay, so all these things we will see today in this session. And if you see the architecture, okay, so in the previously already we have seen this one, but here uh, so this is already this is a CPU, sorry. So here the what the block diagram overall in the CPU, how it looks like. So in block diagram already we have seen in previous. So this we call as CPU, and this is RAM, ROM, IO port, and this is same internal architecture of RAM, and this is this control circuit. Okay, so all these things so we have seen in brief. So now we will concentrate today so only the structure of RAM. Okay, so what this block we will concentrate today. Okay, so now let us move on to the memory. Okay, so now the RAM. So what is the RAM? Basically random access memory, means we can do the means, or the processor or microcontroller can do read and write, okay, with respect to the memory now. Okay, so now the read and write, so that we call as the random access memory. So ROM means read only memory. Okay, so whatever memory is there, so basically, so what we also know, so basically what is a memory? So memory is nothing but the collection of the locations, okay, or registers, so which will store the values, if it is 8 bit, then 8 if it is 8 bit location, so 8 bits it will be stored. So like this 8 bits will be stored, and it will be accessed through the address. Okay, it may be address, usually it will be specified in the hexadecimal. So if it is like 256 bytes, then 002 ff address will be there. Okay, so this we call as a memory, in which we can store the values, either instruction or data. Okay, so usually if you store the means the data, if we store, so what do you mean by data? So what are the inputs and outputs will be used, okay, or inputs will be used for the program, and whatever the outputs will be generated, the values, okay, that we call as a data. So if you call as a program, okay, program is nothing but the set of instructions, so that will be stored in the ROM. Okay, so both RAM and ROM are very much essential. And here, as we know, after seeing the features of 8051, so 8051 will provide the 64k of memory of external RAM and 64k of external ROM. Both it will provide, not as simultaneously, either we can connect to RAM or we can connect to ROM. Okay, for that 16 address lines are required. Why 16 address lines? Because 64k, that is nothing but 65,536 locations, so that is required 2000, sorry, 2 raised to 16. So 16 address lines, 2 raised to 16 means 65,536 locations, that is nothing but 64k. For example, if it is 8 locations, then 3 address lines are required. 2 raised to 3 is equal to 8. Okay, so for any processor or microcontroller will communicate with external device with the help of address bus, with the help of data bus, and with the help of control lines. Address bus is to generate the means give the means or to send the address lines, address value, and data bus is to send the data or receive the data. Usually address bus will be unidirectional, means the processor or controller will send the address to the memory. For that address, what data you need to send or receive, that will be going in data bus. And with respect to control lines, whether is it read operation or write operation or chip select, so that will be the control lines. Okay, so this is a basic interface with respect to the memory and the 8051. Okay, so now we knew that what is memory and how to interface that one, okay, in general. Then, so what is, if you come to the 8051 architecture, so there is a separate IC for data and separate IC for program. Means there is a separate IC RAM, there is a separate IC ROM. Both are not in the single IC, like the same memory is divided for instruction and data. Okay, so this architecture we call as a Harvard architecture. Okay, the memory architecture in which the separate data memory and separate what the separate code memory, it will be IC will be used. So in that case, that memory architecture we call as a Harvard architecture. And if it is in the same memory, then we call as Van Neumann. Okay, Van Neumann architecture. Okay, so these all things we'll see later. And at present, so we are concentrating on memory structure. And 8051 supports 64K external RAM, 64K external ROM, and it has internal memory of, it has internal memory. Okay, so which consists of internal RAM and internal SFRs. Okay, so RAM consists of 128 bytes, RAM consists of the 128 bytes, and after that the 128 bytes there are SFRs. So that we call as special function registers. So that we will see in the subsequent slides. Okay, so now internal memory organization consists of as I said, external code memory. So external code, it supports 64K bytes of code memory and 64K bytes of external data memory. So both ICs it will support. Means either we can interface with 64K code memory, or we can it will support, we can interface 64K RAM IC. Okay, for that 16 address lines are required. So once you come to the internal memory, so as I said, internal memory consists of the first 28 bytes, 128 bytes. So that 128 bytes, in that 128 bytes, 32 will be register banks. So we'll see the structure of that the next slide. And after that 20 to 2F, that is 16 bytes of bit addressable, and 30 to 7F, the rest of the portion is for general purpose RAM. Okay, so once we cross 00 to 7F, means then 80 to FF, that we call as special function register. Okay, so these all things we will see in detail in the next slide. So this is how the internal memory is organized. Okay, this is what the diagram shows here. So 8 banks, sorry, 32 banks. Okay, sorry, 4 banks, 0 1 2 3. Okay, 4 banks are there. Okay, 0 1 2 3, 4 banks, with each bank consists of 8 registers. So that 8 registers we can see here. Okay, register bank 0. Okay, 8 registers we can see here. 0 to 7 registers are there, and address is also 0 to 7. Okay, means in one bank we have 8 register R0 to R7. In R0 we can store 8 bit. Okay, so each one is 8 bit register. Okay, R1 R0 is 8 bit, R1 is 8 bit, so like that R7 is 8 bit. Okay, so this is a structure, means the 4 banks we will call, that is bank 0 to bank 0 1 2 3. Okay, these 4 banks. So after the 4 banks we have from 20 to 2F, 20 to 2F. So this is address, so byte address we call as. Okay, so 20 to 2F we call as bit addressable area. Okay, so what do you mean by bit addressable area? Means what are the 8 bits are there, that is also register only. So as we are seeing the first location, okay, in that they have given 00 and 07. Okay, so as it is 8 bits we can store, so 0. Okay, if you see like this, Okay, if it is 8 bits here, 0 1 1 0 1 1 1 0, if it is like this, okay, so we can read the particular only 0, so with a 00 address, and we can change this particular fourth bit or third bit if you come from 0, so that address will be 0 1 2 3, third address. So if you write particular, we can set the particular bit, or we can read particular bit at the third address, this particular bit. Okay, so this we call as a bit addressable area. Means, so byte addressable means, so we can write directly 8 bits. Okay, so for example, write 24h. Okay, directly it will write, so 24h value in the for particular area, for particular address. Okay, so that we call as 8-bit operation. So particular bit, suppose I want to read in 28th address. Okay, so in 28th address, suppose I want to use as 45h as bit addressable area. So 45 means 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Okay, so 45 means 0 1 2 3 4 5, so sixth bit, so sixth bit I can access. Bit addressable area 45, byte address is 28. Okay, so that depends on the instruction. So by using the particular instruction, it will decide whether is it bit addressable area or byte addressable area. Okay, so like this we can access each particular bit in 8 bits, each particular bit we can access. So similarly, so this is a area. Okay, 202 2f means 16 bytes. Okay, 16 bytes we can have bit addressable area. So if you want to access some value or modify some value with bit addressable, so we can store in this area. Okay, and if you come to this one, if you come to the byte address, so this all register, suppose these all things I will show an example. So this is also byte access, whatever registers we are showing, and this is also byte address. Okay, so from 30 to 7f, any locations we can use as for user purpose, so that we can call as scratchpad memory. So after this, after 7f and 802ff, it is a SFR, that is special function register, so that we are going to see in the next slide. Okay, so this is how the 128 bytes. So if they ask explain the internal memory organization, 128 bytes of RAM, so that it is segregated or separated like this: 4 banks, bit addressable area, and general purpose area, 80 bytes. Okay, so now if you come to the registers, so as we know there are 4 banks. 4 banks means in one bank 8 registers. Okay, totally there are 4 banks and 32 registers. In one bank we have R0 to R7. So how to use that? So suppose there is an instruction like this. Okay, so what I have written here, add a comma R2. So what it will do is, it will do the add function, that is it will add the contents of the values of R2 and values of A. Okay, so A means A register, that we can also called as accumulator, and the result will be stored in the A. Okay, suppose R2 consists of 12h and A consists of 34h. Okay, if A consists of 34h, so after the addition it will be 34 plus 12, that is 46h will be stored in the A. Okay, so this is how the registers will be used, okay, in the operation. And if you come to the bit addressable RAM, that is 202.2f. Okay, in that, as I said, so 25th address. Okay, 25th address, so bit addressable area, 25th address, if I want to set particular, then I can use the instructions like this: SCT, set bit 25h. Set bit 25h means here the 25h is a bit addressable bit address, not the byte address. Okay, that particular bit will be 1. Similarly, CLR 25, CLR is means clear, so 25 bit will be cleared, means it will be 0. For example, yeah, so if you see here, the 25th means it is coming in this. Okay, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 25th. Sixth bit will be set to 1 by using SCTB, and it will be clear by using CLR. Okay, this is how the bit address area will be used. Okay, and here general purpose means that is 3027F, general purpose 80 bytes. So in that general instructions, how we can use is 8 byte byte addressable area. For example, here we have given move a comma 6AH. Okay, if it is like this, sorry, here it is move a comma 6AH. So if it is like this, it is not the compiler will understand it is not bit address instruction. So the 6A, the content of this is a memory address 6A, H is a hexadecimal, 6A is the address. The content of what stored in 6A address will be moved to A register. Okay, similarly move R1 hash 6A. If we use hash instead of directly with the value, if we insert the hash, so that is meaning that directly the value 6A we are putting it to R1, not the content of. So 6A will act as a value, not as an address. So these all things, so we will study in the addressing modes in the subsequent the sections. Okay, so now at present how the bit addressable area and byte addressable area it will be used. So here the 6A value will be stored into the R1, but if I remove okay, if I remove this hash, if I used only 6AH, then it will act as a 6A will act as an address. The whatever the value stored in this 6A address, that will be stored onto the R1. Okay, then it is move a comma at R1, so that is we call as indirect addressing mode. Okay, so that will in detail we will see later. Okay, so now these are the general purpose how it will be used after the 30 between the 30 and the 7F. Okay, these will be used as byte addressable, and 20 to 2F it will be used as bit addressable, and registers, the 4 banks, it will be used like this. And which bank presently we are using, so that will be set in the PSW by using RS1 and RS0 bits. So already we have seen PSW register in the previous class. Okay, so now this is regarding the 128 bytes of RAM. Okay, so then the whatever this SFR, so as I told 802 whatever 802 FF, it is not fully free. Okay, in that we have the special function registers. So that function special function register, what are those as a B register, accumulator register. Okay, B register, if you need to access, that is F0 address, A register, B register, and PSW. Okay, and IP, that is what is that, interrupt priority, and port 3. Okay, interrupt enable, that register, port 2 register, serial buffer, serial control, port 1, and these are all the timer related registers. And this is data pointer high, data pointer low, means data pointer whatever 16 bit, so in that 8 bit DPH low, DPH high, that is data pointer high, data pointer low, stack pointer, port 0. Okay, so all these the whatever registers are there in the architecture we have seen A and B. Okay, so that is not separate, it is in the whatever the general memory area, that is 802 FF, these will be used. Okay, whatever rest of the addresses, for example 84, 85, whatever rest of the blank is there, that the user can use for his purpose. Okay, so these are the SFR, these we call as special function registers. So whatever R0 to R7, that we call as general purpose. Okay, so R0 to R7 is a general purpose registers, and these registers we call as special function. So why we call as special function is, so these will be used for the particular application. Okay, so that is except A and B. Okay, so here the small brief introduction means about this special function registers. So the area is 802 FF. Okay, so in that some of our bit addressable, whatever these special function are there, some of the bit addressable, some are byte addressable. Okay, suppose if you take the port 0, all port 4 registers, okay, all are bit addressable and byte addressable, both we can write. Suppose if I use the instruction set b p0 dot 7, that is p0 means port 0, dot 7 means MSB. Okay, I am setting this particular port 0 last bit, MSB bit, as 1. So that is using bit addressable area, sorry, bit addressable instruction. Okay, suppose if I use, for example, move a comma p0, so then it is byte addressable. Okay, whatever port 0 register value is there, it will move on to a. This is byte addressable. If I use set b, then it is bit addressable. In that I can't write set b p0. Okay, I can't write set b p0 because set b is a bit addressable. So I need to write particular bit set b p0 3 4 like that. Okay, similarly clear port 0 bit 7, that is MSB. Okay, similarly whatever the program status board, what we have seen, that is carry, auxiliary carry, F0 is okay, the flag 0 reserved, and RS1 RS0 for selecting the bank registers, selecting the register banks. Okay, and overflow, all these bits we can access individually. Okay, how we can write is the PSW dot 7. PSW dot 7 means the register PSW with particular MSB I need to operate. Then PSW 2. Okay, so like this I can select the particular MSB or second bit like that. So D7 D6 is just the bit position what they have given. Okay, so this is how bit addressable we can access. And if you come to the internal timer TCON, okay, so TCON is timer control register. It is a SFR of address 88H. Okay, what it will do is TCON is used to configure and monitor 8051 timers. Okay, to monitor and configure, okay, the what are the settings we can do, so that settings we can do with the TCON. So this is also bit addressable. And T mode, so there are the timers will work in different modes. So these timers and serial whatever the serial transmission, it will come in the 5th module. In detail we will see. And here, so what we need to know is what is TCON. TCON is used to, it is a register used to configure and monitor the 8051 timers. And T mode is a one in which we can select in which mode timer can be used. Okay, in which mode the timer can be used. And if you come to the TL0 and TL1, okay, and TL0 TH0 and TL1 and TH1, these are two 16-bit registers, means timer 0 is 16-bit, timer 1 is 16-bit. Okay, and TH0 is 8-bit and TL0 is 8-bit. So these registers, how it will be used is, suppose I want to generate some 2-second delay or 5-second delay. Okay, for that I need to put a count based on the clock, and I need to calculate the count, how much value I need to put for the delay. So that delay value I will put in the timer 0 register and timer 1 register. So which timer I am using, suppose I am using timer 0 register, I need to put the values in TL0 and TH0. Suppose I am using timer 1, I need to put the value in TH1 and TL1. Okay, so this is these timer registers will help by putting how much delay I want to reduce the delay or I want to increase the delay. So increase the delay means high value it will be used. Okay, the same similarly power control register, in which to save the power. Okay, so PCON is power control register, SFR is address is 87. Suppose I want to keep the microcontroller as sleep in particular time, so that particular time I can keep by configuring PCON register, I can keep microcontroller in a sleep mode, means don't do any job like that. Okay, similarly we have serial port registers like SBEF and SCON. Okay, so SCON is nothing but again we need to configure the serial port, means what is the baud rate. Okay, baud rate is the one, means in which in per second how many bits we will transfer, on what speed we will transfer, whether is it 8-bit or 7-bit. Okay, how many stop bits, so all those things it will be set in the SCON. and S buffer. So whatever the data we want to transfer, so that we need to load onto the S buffer register. Okay, these all things, how to transfer and what is the protocol for that, all these individual bits we will see in the detailed in the fifth module. Okay, at present SCON and SBUF, what it will be used. So to configure the serial transmission, we need to use the SCON. Like speed means baud rate, we need to set, and what are the stop bits, like that. Okay, and SBUF is the value what we want to transfer the data, so that we need to put onto the S buffer. Okay, similarly we have interrupt registers, interrupt enable. Okay, so we have interrupts in the microcontroller also, so there will be different interrupts will be there. So which interrupts we need to enable? Suppose if we have the 8 interrupts, okay, if we have the 8 interrupts, so which interrupt I need to enable and which interrupt I need to disable, so that it will be done by using the interrupt enable registers. So as they have given, so MSB 7 is used to disable all interrupts. Okay, suppose I set the MSB of IE register, so that will disable the all interrupts. So like this, we can disable or enable the particular interrupts by using the IE register. Similarly, interrupt priority. So priority is a one. So when there are many interrupts are enabled at a time. Okay, so which interrupt we need to give the priority? Priority means which interrupt we should give the chance. So that we call as a priority. Okay, that priority we can set by writing the low priority means 0, high priority means 1. So again there will be like 8 bits. Okay, so we need to put, as particular interrupts will be there, we can set particular interrupt as 0 and 1. 0 means priority, high priority or low priority, like that. Okay, so these all things with examples you will see later. Okay, so these are some more the special function registers, so which will be used to control the interrupts. Okay. Okay, so now today in this session, okay, in this session we have seen what is the means how to interface the microcontroller with memory, that is with address bus, data bus and control lines. And it has as we know the feature 64k, it can means it has a capability to interface with 64k RAM and 64k ROM, and with that it has internal memory. So today we have seen the internal structure of the internal RAM structure of the 8051. Okay, it has total 128 bytes of memory. In that the 4 banks, byte addressable and bit addressable, we have some area, and again the special function registers. Okay, so through the instructions we can used as bit addressable area and byte addressable. Okay, and how to transfer the data from register to register. Okay, register to memory. Okay, this is register to memory, this is register to register, do the add function. Okay, and store the values. Okay, and SFR, what are special function registers? Okay, these are special function registers, and how it will be, sorry, not how it will be used and where it will be and what is the purpose of that, so we have seen in this session. Okay, and these are the references, so what I have used. Okay, thank you.